Welcome to my kitchen. I used to have a thing about not taking the camera into my house because I didn't want to show off my private world. Actually, it's just a house. It's a decent house. It's a nice kitchen. Nice floors. It's an okay size. The cupboards themselves are, well, they're just basic solid pine cupboards and drawers, and that's fine. I don't like the top, the bench top. It was obviously, the original one from 1967, very period, shall we say. I do plan to replace that one day. Lots of things I'd like to do. Maybe I should have tidied up, but anyway, here's the problem that I'm trying to resolve at the moment. So, the extractor fan above the oven does not work. Okay, fine. We can replace that. We will replace it with a range hood. In fact, I've already bought the range hood. It's a compact one. Trouble is that cupboard. The compact range hood, by the time that is removed, I'll have to get an electrician to do that because it's hardwired in. But there is space up there where the range hood can sit, but this cupboard's right in the way. The range hood would still work and do its job, but that shouldn't be like that. So what to do? I can't just take the cupboard off the wall because the cupboard itself is recessed into the wall. If I just pulled it out, there'd be a big hole there, and I would have to patch up the lining. And there's no framing right there, obviously, because there'll be some custom framing probably around where that is. Just annoying. So what I will probably do, I'll think about it some more, but I'm pretty sure what I will do is just remove the trim and cut the cupboard back until it is flush with the wall, and then do something to make it look acceptable, so then it will basically be a shallow shelf where you can put your salt and pepper and various herbs and spices. That seems okay. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, that's what I'll do. It's a bit later and I'm back in the kitchen. Haven't done any work on this stuff yet, but I figured while I'm working in this part of the kitchen, I may as well include this other job which I now know about. We've had the gas fitter in. You should be able to see it from there. Installing the bits and pieces in the floor and under the house and outside the house, and I went and bought some gas bottles. But he did, it's for the gas hobs, obviously, on top of the oven. It's an electric oven inside. But he did tell us that he can't issue a certificate of compliance just yet because, and this actually should have been obvious, it's a fire risk at the moment. That's because if you've got any object within, I forget what he told me, is it 200 millimeters of the edge of the hob, then you need a splashback on it, a fire-resistant splashback, so that you don't set fire to things, because you put a pan or a pot on there, the heat's going to be coming up the side, and I don't want to burn the house down. And same at the back, I'm going to need a splashback there as well. A little bit tricky dimension-wise. There are lots of pre-made splashbacks that you can buy, and some of them are just the right width, 600 millimeters, which is the same width as my oven, but they're like 750 millimeters high, and I just haven't got the space for that. There's the socket, the plug for the oven there, and there's the wall switch for the oven there, and basically on that wall I only want it to be 350 millimeters high, which is high enough to be compliant. It only has to come above the top of the oven by 150 millimeters. On that wall I might make it a bit higher. So I'm going to go to a glazier and ask the glazier, fellow actually isn't a gender specific term, although it's used that way. Fellow can be any person. Get that fellow to cut me a couple of pieces of heat resistant glass to use as splashbacks, and I will do the installation. So I'll include that as well, because why not? So I'm at my desk from where I have just ordered the pieces of glass for the splashback from a glazing company called Ziggy's here in Masterton. But the joys of being in a small-ish town One of those joys is that sometimes things take a little bit longer because some work is outsourced to the big cities. So there's going to be stuff coming down from Auckland. The painting of the glass is going to happen in Wellington. The fellow on the phone reckoned that I might not have these two pieces of glass for a couple of weeks, which is not ideal. But that's life. I look forward to receiving them. In the meantime, I suppose I can crack on with that cupboard, and I will do that. Right, I'm at the glass place. I won't film their business because, well, I didn't get permission to do that. Got the splashbacks. It's probably a good idea to keep them covered up, so I brought a bunch of towels and blankets with me. Now let's get these home and install them. Let's get these home, and then when I have time, I'll start getting to work on them. Now, when you have a cooktop that's built into a bench top, and there is a little bit of bench behind the cooktop, you would sit the splashback on top of that bench and then fix it to the wall. So the bench itself would help to support the weight of it. When you've got a freestanding oven, well, you can't do that because there's nothing to sit the glass on. So you have to build something, and that's what I will do now. Now, I was going to be clever and make a piece for the glass to sit on, but I've actually already got something that would work. This is a piece of shiplap paneling, and you can have it vertical or horizontal, but you can see, that one has a rebate on one face, that has a rebate on the other face, and they overlap each other nicely. And what I was going to do is make a piece like that, where the glass would sit in that little rebate against the wall, and that face there would help hold the glass against the wall. But since I've already got this piece, why reinvent the wheel? I'll just cut this one to the right dimensions. Okay, so I've planed both faces of this down to the point where, number one, it looks nice, but also, and I won't show you this because it's a very small set of lines, the rebate, the rabbet, or I guess you could say the shelf on which the glass will sit, is just a little bit over 6 millimeters, maybe 7.5, 8. The glass is 6 millimeters thick, so I think that's perfect. Now I will just cut off the excess parts of the board that I won't need. I love my machines. I make use of them because there are excellent reasons to use them. They save a lot of time and effort, but don't get out of the habit of using hand tools for what it's worth. My main presentation workbench is currently in use as I build a kitchen island. So I'll just do that. I'll just make a mess of it here. Doesn't matter if I splashed oil on them, they're getting oiled anyway. I will want to find the location of the studs on the wall behind the oven. So I'm just going to try this out. It's my existing stud finder Stud finders aren't good. Well, let me rephrase that. Cheap stud finders that look like this, regardless of the brand, tend not to be very good. Now in this case, I know that there is actually a stud there and then a piece added onto the stud there to fix the edges of the plywood too. So that should be what I find. Oh, detecting something, and no longer. Okay, so that's pretty good, but just sometimes these things seem wildly inaccurate. Oh, so it's detecting a bit earlier than I would have thought. And oh gosh, it's still detecting all the way over here. I don't believe there is a stud there. So exactly why it did that, I don't know. And I find stud finders in general to be like that. They will usually detect the stud, but they get a lot of false positives as well. And of course a false positive is no good, because that means it's telling you there's something where there's not. And so you go and drill a screw through, and then the screw just keeps spinning because there's nothing solid behind there. There is a really good looking stud finder made by Franklin that I'm going to buy at some point and try out. But this is what I've got for now. Right, so doing it for real now in the kitchen, and you can just do a bit of detective work ahead of time. I think there's going to be a stud there, because it's typical for electrical outlets to be placed into corners in the framing, so there'll be a nog going that way or over there and a stud next to it. Which side is the stud on? Well, there's another electrical outlet there. The stud's probably on that side of it, so there's probably one there. I will check that. Also, I can see, I don't know if you can from there, some small nails in whatever that lining is ascending in a line. There's probably something up right there, and I would like there to be one over that side, although if I have 2 points where I can secure this supporting piece, that will be enough. Let's just have a look. What does my highly imperfect stud finder tell me? It tells me there's nothing there. Is it right? I have no idea. That's the thing with this, I just don't trust it. Oh, there is something there, as I thought. Yep, okay, that's good. So there's something there for me to fix things onto. Let's just get myself into this space with the gas oven. You can't just pull it out miles from the wall because it's connected. I mean, I could go and turn the gas bottle off and unscrew that, but I'm lazy. I like to avoid tasks. So as I pushed past the bench, I've mentioned already I don't like that bench top. I'm going to replace it. Now, is there anything here? No, maybe there's not. Oh bother, I was hoping there would be. Okay, well let's... I can see a row of nails going up that way. So that will be, if there's one there and one there, that will be sufficient. Let's just confirm that. Unable to confirm, not good. So that seems wrong, because there are nails going up there. Okay, one in the middle, as I thought. Is that the only thing there is? I guess that could be okay. If I put one screw above the other, it is a solid piece of wood, and the glass is going to be stuck to the wall as well. I need to clean the wall. It's got bits of cooking splatter stuck to it. That will be fine because that's solid. I can screw that anywhere. Okay, but this is the kind of detective work you have to do. It could be that electrical outlet is attached to the stud to the right of it. Yeah, there we are. That's what will be going on there. Oh, what about this one? Maybe there's just a nog going across and they've attached it to that, which I guess works fine. Is there a knob going across? Yes, there is. Or was that a false positive? No, there's something going across that way. Okay, so that's how they've attached that outlet. Okay, I'm just going to have to put one screw above the other, and that'll do. The glass is 350 mils high, and I want the glass to come up to just below that switch. About there. So make my 350 mil mark. Done. That's important. So now I'm just, okay, so that's where the shelf will be. So the bottom of this piece will be there, another important mark. Better to err on the side of being just 1 or 2 mils too low, because I really don't want to get into trouble there. Okay, the other important mark is to align with this stud. I'll use my level later so that when I install it, it is exactly level. Right, one screw above the other. That should make it sufficiently stable. This is the smaller of the two pieces of glass. I think we'll be fine. Now, this isn't important, but it's something I would like to do. Oh, I see that I've neglected one of the countersinks. I'll just do that while I'm thinking about it, so that I don't get inside to install things and realize that I haven't done it. These countersink holes, countersinks, the countersinking that I'm doing is far deeper than is required. It's just that I don't want the screws to be visible, and I'm going to put some filler over them. So rather than do anything technically proper about that, I'm just countersinking the screws far too deep. Okay, done. Something that I don't have to do, but I will do because I think it would be nice. One piece of glass will sit in there against the wall. One piece of glass will sit in there against the wall. I'd like to actually unite these channels. Make it one channel going all the way around. Just because that seems a bit nicer, even though no one will actually see it. Just like that. And now there is just one channel that runs all the way around against the wall. Time to go inside and install this. To do the installation, I'm going to use, I don't have a level short enough to go in that gap. My level is like 1 meter long. This combination square comes with this level, which can be removed, so I've just taken that off and I'll use that to make sure the pieces are level. 50mm screws for the back piece, which will go into the stud, and for that side piece that will go into that cupboard. These are recycled screws, but that's okay. How long are they? I did kind of eyeball them and see that they would be suitable for this. So those are 25mm, and that'll be fine. They'll be sunken in quite far, as I mentioned, so they'll go a bit further than 25mm screws might normally. And my impact driver to drive them in, not this one, my Black & Decker one, the motor has burned out. Smoke came out of it and it did stink. It's actually a good tool for what it is. It's meant for relatively light work. It's a cheap tool. I tried to use it for some heavier work, driving in 100mm screws when I was making those timber racks, and it got a bit too hot. It didn't like that. So RIP Black & Decker. I have replaced it with this, a Makita one. I do like, I mean, the truth is, any of the big brand impact drivers probably would have been amazing. I do like Makita tools, and I'm on their battery platform, which is a perfectly good reason when it comes to deciding which brand to buy. And that looks pretty much perfect to me. Okay, the supports are on. And would you look at that? No screws poking through. There are many good silicone products that would be suitable for this job. You just need to make sure that it isn't only a sealant, but it is an adhesive. See, this is a 2-in-1 seal and bond made by Sika, MS Crystal Clear, MS Technology Clear Adhesive and Joint Sealant. So, I have measured everything. I'm confident that it is the right size, like so. See now, although the shelf is level, or is it level? It was level when I screwed it on, but it's not parallel to the edge of the cupboard. Let me just make sure it's not crooked. Ah, see now it's showing really crooked. Now this shelf is showing really crooked too, which is supremely annoying. It was correct before, and I want it to be correct now, so I'll have to adjust that. I don't know how that happened. Okay, yep, that looks better. Good. Cool, so the weight is supported. The silicone therefore will not actually be doing very much. Well, it will. It'll stop it from falling off the wall, which is, from falling forwards, which is important. There we are. That's enough to do the job, given that the weight, as I said, is being supported. Okay, it seems to be doing its thing. Let's do the other one. Now I've decided I won't be filling over the screws after all. Those ones are invisible because they're behind the oven. And for this top piece I just decided to use more attractive brass looking screws, so they won't need to be covered. Just getting my bit ready to drive those screws in because they are Phillips head, unlike the others which have that square head, the name of which I forget just now. Just double check the heights. Okay. Slide it into place. Oh, how did I get that wrong? Okay. All done. All done. The splashbacks are installed. They look kind of nice, don't they? And there they are with the oven back in place. Nice. Now we can use our gas hobs. I did indicate that I was going to take that off in this video, but I won't, because I don't actually know when I'm going to get around to to doing it, to having time to do it, and then to install the range hood over the top. I do have an assignment that I'm supposed to be working on, so I should pay more attention to that for now. So there we are. That's how I didn't quite build them. The glazier built the glass part. I built some parts of it. That's how I helped build and installed my splashbacks on this freestanding oven. It's not difficult, as you saw. You don't have to be a carpenter. I'm not really a carpenter. I just do some carpentry. I'll be back soon, probably working on that cupboard, or maybe something else. I do have other projects going on. I'll see you then.